I am here against the extreme abortion bill. My name is Leandre. I'm 50 years old. This is my first time being here testifying like this. I was here last year at the Senate, the similar hearing, and after listening to people speaking, I felt like I needed to say something. I have a lot of things the ideas I wanted to talk about. We had a lot of really good speakers tonight, so I'm going to try not to repeat, what's already been said. I'm going to begin by saying I don't want Rhode Island to be known as a state that kills our most helpless. This first part I know is going to be a little bit of a repeat, but I think it's funny that so many people nowadays believe there's no place for religion because they put all their faith in science and believe that science means there is no God. But those same people don't want to open their eyes and read what the science books have been saying for decades, that life begins at conception. So I know that's a repeat. We've heard this over and over again tonight. But it's true. I think it's incredible that you have all been voted into this position of power where you can just get to decide on so many different subjects. There's no way you can be an expert on all of the topics presented to you. So please take the time to learn the facts, not vote based on opinions. I know we have a lot of personal stories here tonight that are being presented. Even some opinions presented as if they were facts. There were a couple of things that I thought that were questionable that some of the doctors were saying earlier. I was glad those last two doctors were here to really clarify some points. Some of you here tonight are willing to end the lives of helpless human beings, not only end their lives, but tell mothers that they have a right to kill their own child in any way possible, just in order for them to have the freedom to have sex whenever they want. That's really what it comes down to. Think about it. You get to kill your child for that reason. I've listened to women talk about protections for themselves. Why aren't they also asking for true protections for our children? We trust you to protect our most vulnerable. Please do that. I don't know, why is it that so many politicians, when talking about abortion, say no one wants to have an abortion, and it's a very difficult decision to make? But why are people here fighting so hard to give people the opportunity to do something that they probably don't really want to do and will someday regret? What is it that makes it such a difficult choice to make? If it wasn't a human being inside its mother's womb, then it wouldn't be so difficult. I know a couple of points that were brought up today. People talked about domestic abuse victims. We trust these victims of our society to go to people who sometimes will say to them, if you want your life to be better, then sacrifice your youngest child. That's how you feel better about yourself and your situation. I know there are organizations in Rhode Island who see domestic abuse victims daily. How often did they say to them, I know an example was given like this earlier today, how often would they say, well, kill your youngest born child before your spouse does it? You wouldn't say that to a person, but why do you tell them that they should abort the child inside of them? And don't forget, often women are willing to be abused by men, but then they choose to put an end to the violence when they think that their child is in danger. So they will. I know there's people who are in those situations and feel they can't get out of it, and their children are suffering too. But lots of times when they see that it's the child that needs to be protected, then they will take steps to end that. Also, there are rape victims. People want to say that the worst thing that can happen to a rape victim is to have to give birth to a child. We talked about sex trafficking tonight. There are studies that show that rape victims who, in that moment of shock, choose to kill their child, more often they regret that decision. And for many of those who have given birth after a rape, their child becomes the reason that they can go on with their lives. So people don't want to believe this, but just think about this. Couldn't this be true? I'm not making this stuff up. It's common knowledge that anyone with internet can access. I know we're not all experts in psychology, but please talk to the experts, not to others who feel that sexual freedom will solve women's problems. Please read and learn the truth about some of the subjects that I've mentioned. Read them with an open mind and just say to yourself, could this be true? What if this really is true? How am I helping anyone by furthering the selfish killing of innocent life? Am I facilitating evil by providing what looks like an easy solution that is going to further devastate each woman sometime in the future? When you offer people what seems to be an easy solution to their situation, I won't even call it a problem, they tend to jump at it. But someday, maybe sooner, maybe later, they realize what they've done, and they also realize that there were other choices. I know just recently somebody made a comment that if people should be able to make their own moral decisions, but if people really can make their own moral decisions, why do we need laws at all? I don't understand why this one is so different from all the other laws that we pass. I'll just end by saying, please don't let me be a citizen of a state that would rather kill its most innocent and most helpless than to look at the root cause of a deteriorating society.